Okay, so they told me to record, and then Zian said he is online because he has a meeting. Okay. Did your teacher tell you yet? Exam until where? Sorry, until all chapters. But then your school, you haven't learned the one I taught you, the genetics one. You haven't learned in school. You not yet learn, right? So how? 1 month only leh. Hey, now teaching this one. Second one. Okay, so last week went through a bit, right? Okay. Okay, so linear motion, an object moving in a straight line. Okay, that is linear motion. All right. Now, a racing car, apple falling down, these are all linear motion. Okay. So what happens is when something is just going in a straight line, we can have distance, displacement, okay, and then time. Speed is distance over time. Velocity is the speed lah, basically. Acceleration is how much the speed increases. So all of this we talked about that day already. Okay. So distance and displacement actually is the same thing, right? Okay, distance is the total path traveled by object. Displacement is the distance of the shortest path. Okay, it's basically the same lah. But if you want to say it in specifically, distance and displacement. Okay, uh, distance is you travel this much. 40 plus 30. Displacement is the actual distance, the shortest distance. Okay? But usually they won't ask you lah. Alright. Speed is the same concept as acceleration, except acceleration there's a direction, which direction is going. Okay? So it's how much distance is traveled over time. Okay? And if you want to calculate average speed, we take the total distance over total time. So this is the formula. This is the formula that we did last week. Okay, can? Right, this one is easy lah. This formula we did last week. Okay, velocity is the same thing. Velocity is basically the same thing, except velocity is displacement over time. Okay, so displacement got a direction. When it's to the right, it's positive. When it's to the left, it's negative. So, but when you calculation is not, there's no difference. The unit for speed and the unit for velocity is the same, meter per second. Okay, so both speed and velocity measure how far an object moves. The only difference is that speed does not tell you the direction, but velocity does. Positive, negative direction. Okay. For example, a car traveling at 100 kilometers to the east and another car traveling 100 kilometers to the west has the same speed but different velocity because it's different direction. Okay. Acceleration is change of speed over time. So because speed is meter per second, time is meter per second plus time is another per second, right? So acceleration is meter per second per second. So the unit is meter per second to the power of 2. Get it? So that's why the unit for acceleration is special. Okay? Or we can write it as meter per second like that. Okay? So acceleration is final velocity over initial velocity. That means initially he's traveling at 0 kilometers per hour. In 5 minutes, he travels to 100 kilometers per hour. The acceleration is 100 kilometers per hour per hour. Okay, but usually we calculate everything in meter per second. Okay, so you only know about this if you do calculations. So what I want you to do is, let's try a few calculations just to get it going. Okay, you look at the last page. There. Okay. Can you look at question 1 and question 2? Okay, question one, two, and three. Can you try and do question one, question two, and question three? Do you know how to do question A? Question one? Distance. So this whole thing is velocity or speed is distance over time, right? So if we want to calculate distance, what is it? It is speed multiply time, correct? Correct? Right. So we are looking for displacement. Displacement means the distance lah, right? So this is velocity. This is velocity and this is time. So it's this multiply this. Basically, 这里的 area 明白吗？这里的 area. So 这个三角形的 area 是什么？就是 4 multiply 4, right? So 1, 2, and 3 啊。1 is 4 multiply 4, 可是这个是三角形 so multiply half. Okay. Number 2 is 4 to 12 is 8 multiply 4. And part 3 is 4 multiply 4, but it's also half. 你这三个加起来多少？48. Did you get that? Do you understand now? Yeah. Okay, so when it's a graph of velocity against time, the distance traveled is basically the area below the graph. You count and see, correct? Okay. Okay. A coin and a chicken feather is free falling in a vacuum. Which is the physical quantity is fixed? Velocity is meter over time, right? Okay. Acceleration is you minus the velocity. Okay. Uh, this one, and this one can depend on mass. Only one thing depends on gravity. Which one is that thing? Acceleration. Acceleration depends on gravity. So acceleration cannot change because acceleration is gravity. You know what's gravity? Earth's gravity. Earth's gravity is fixed. Okay. Okay. Total distance over total time，全部 answer 好像一样的，可是只有一个 correct answer。Total over total is what? 第三题 average. Yes, correct. To calculate the average speed. Okay, can. Okay, so this whole chapter is calculation, so you have to be very careful. Okay, now let's go back to the graphs. Okay, now you're going to do a lot of this kind of questions. Okay. Okay, let's look at problem solving. Page 3. Okay, this one. Okay, Kim pedals his bicycle 250 meter and it takes 50 seconds. Okay, so it's just 250 over 50 seconds. So easy lah. So no issue. Okay, example 11.3. A car walked the curve from P to Q, which is 70 meters away. Okay, which is which? Average speed and average velocity from P to Q. Okay, 它走这里 is 240 meters. 它从这里走到这里是70 meter. Okay, speed is 它真正走的地方是多少？ So it's 240 meter over the seconds. Okay, velocity 是 what is the actual distance that is traveled, the shortest distance. So velocity 是70 over 160. Can you see the difference? Okay, speed 是它真正走的 distance, velocity 是最靠近的 distance. Okay, so 好像我从这里 KL 飞去 JB，它的 distance 一样，对不对？可是我的我坐飞机跟我坐车一样吗？不一样。So 我坐飞机是 velocity，我坐车是 speed 啊，因为飞机只是从the nearest point to the nearest point 嘛。But speed is the whole distance actually traveled by the car. Can you see the difference? Yeah. Okay. A van accelerates. Accelerate is when you tekan minyak in the car, how fast it increases the speed. Okay. From 10 meter per second to 20 meter per second in 2.5 seconds. What is the acceleration? So you take initial, final minus initial over time. Okay. Can? Right. Okay, fine, it's 15.5. Okay, read the question first. A participant runs from the starting point O to P which is 100 meters to the north, and then he runs to point Q, which is 100 meters to the east. The total time taken is 25 seconds. Okay? So the total distance is 200 over 25 seconds. Alright? So this is his speed. Okay? 他们没有跟我讲这个是多少，可以算吗？可以，这三角形，你记得怎样算吗？This is actually this is actually at maths，我不知道为什么它放在这里。这是 triangle 的 calculation 来的。OK，basically，如果一个 triangle 这个 triangle 如果是正方形啦，this this this square and this one square 加起来，then square root 就是它的 answer，就是它的 distance。这个你有学过吗？没有，这是 MS 来的。I still don't know why they put here. They should have told you lah. So basically, you can find the distance. Okay, you see, it's 100 square plus 100 square, right? And then square root. 这个你有学过哦？有啊，100是吗？这个100 square plus 100 square，这个两个加起来 square root，这个是这个 distance。可是 basically 是这样啦，a square b square c。Okay, c square equals to a square plus b square. So c 就等于 a square plus b square square root 咯。这样 OK. I hope they don't ask you in your exam because it's like out of the blue，莫名其妙问这个东西。Okay, anyway, that is the displacement lah. That will be the displacement. Okay? Alright. Okay, so these are all examples, different examples. Okay, now experiment that they ask you one is 这个 experiment is called a ticker timer. Okay, what's a ticker timer? Sure. Okay, a ticker timer is a apparatus that can be used in a laboratory to determine the velocity and acceleration of a moving object. It has a vibrating arm that vibrates at a frequency of 50 hertz. And 50 hertz means 50 times per second. Okay, which produces a series of dots on a piece of ticker tape being dragged along a moving object. Okay, now, and produces a series of dots on a piece of ticker tape that is being dragged along. So when the power is applied to the ticker timer, the vibrating arm will print dots onto the carbonized ticker tape. Okay, since its vibrating arm is 50 hertz, it will print 50 dots in 1 second. Okay, so in 1 second, 50 hertz. Hertz means how many times per second? So it's 50 times per second, per 1 second. Okay, 50 times per 1 second. So every dot is 0.02 seconds. Can you understand why? Okay, every dot is 0.02 seconds. The object move faster, the greater the distance. Okay, can? So this is called one tick. One tick is between two dots. So the distance between two dots, the time is 0.02. Okay? So if every tick is 0.02 seconds, 10 ticks is how many seconds? 0.2 seconds. Do you understand? Okay. Okay. So the time and the length. Okay? So you see all the time taken is 0.2 seconds. And the length is how far they travel. So distance over time is the speed. So you see their speed all almost the same. Can see? Okay. So average is the total distance over total time. This one you must remember 因为他会问你这个10个 tick 有多少个时间 Okay, and then you must just measure the length over the 0.2 seconds. Okay? Okay, now this one 是比较快还是比较慢 Is becoming faster or becoming slow? 啊？它时间还是10个 tick 吗？1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10。可是它的 distance 比较长啊。So faster or slower? OK，它这个 distance，这个整个 distance 是10个 tick，10个 tick 是0.2 seconds，对吗？每一个都是10个 tick，对吗？你算好好。So all is 0.2 seconds, right? So now that it's longer means faster or slower? Faster, yes. So this is faster because this is 10 cm over 0.25 seconds. Get it? This is only 6 cm over 0.25 seconds. Understand? 这个比较慢哦，这个比较快哦，这个走比较远啊。Get it? So this one is accelerating. Okay? So the acceleration of a moving trolley can be measured using a ticker timer. Okay, so we are increasing, the speed is increasing. From the first one is only 6 cm over 0.2 seconds. The second one is 10 cm over 0.2 seconds. So it's getting faster and faster. So it's accelerating. Okay? Okay. Okay. If it's the same, the dot, the distance here and here is the same, that means the speed is constant speed. 如果它越来越近，就是越来越慢。sorry. 呀啦，越来越远，越来越近是越来越慢。它是从这里算起嘛？从这里很近，越来越远是比较快。Right? You start from here you start from here. It's very slow and then becomes faster. This one is very fast and then becomes slower. This one is not the same. It's fast and then slow and then slow. Okay. This is what we calculated just now. Distance over time. Okay. Distance over time. We talked about this last week, right? If this is distance over time, this is velocity. Correct? 这个有走还是没有走？ No. So this one is not moving at all because the distance doesn't change, but the time changes. Okay? So if your graph is distance over time, the gradient is the velocity. Okay, the gradient. That means this minus this over this minus this. That's the gradient. That's the distance because it's This that is the velocity because it's distance over time. Okay. If your line is a straight line, that means it's not moving. Okay. If it's going up, that means it is increasing in speed. If it's curving up, means it is not only increasing in speed, but it's also accelerating. Can you understand the different graphs? Okay. 这个呢，这个是 becoming slower and slower. Okay. Okay, let's look at this graph here. So this one is distance over time. Okay. This one is constant speed, 越来越快。这个是没有动，休息。OK，这个是 accelerating，越跑越快。OK，这个是 deaccelerating，越跑越慢。OK，So, the runner runs with a uniform velocity. The runner does not move. A to B, the runner does not move. B to C, the gradient graph increases. The runner is running with increasing velocity, or the runner is accelerating. Okay. C to D, the graph is negative and uniform. He is running, but he's running at the opposite direction because the distance is going back. Distance is going back. So he's running at the opposite direction. Okay? Okay. Can I answer or not? Is it too much or not? Can do that. Can I? Okay, last one. Velocity time graph. The gradient of the velocity time graph gives the value of the rate of change of velocity, that is acceleration. So this is what we did just now. Okay. Here, there's no movement. So velocity is 0. This one 如果它是一个平线，有动吗？有动。This is velocity, not distance. It's just that 它是 uniform movement. This one is accelerating, 越来越快。This one is decreasing. That means 它越来越慢。Okay? The area under the graph is 这个是我们刚才算的地方。The area under the graph is the distance. Alright? Okay. Okay, let's try some questions. Okay, can you please try question 7, question 7, 8, 7, 8 and 10. Okay, 7, 8, 10, 11. So question 7, right? Okay. What's the answer? Okay. Positive acceleration means it's going up lah. So that's just A. Okay. This one. Okay, so from here it's going uniformly decreasing. Uniformly decreasing 是比较近还是比较远？哈 decreasing velocity 就讲它比较慢呐、比较慢，它那个 dot 是比较近还是比较远？近，所以哪一个会比较越来越近？Okay, which of the following ticker tape shows deceleration and uniformly decreasing velocity? Deceleration. Huh? Sorry. Donkey. Uniformly decreasing, ma. This one is uniform, what? Can see it, not? Closer and closer. Alright? Okay. Number 9, right? Yeah. Uh, velocity time. Okay. So what O to V and V to W? Okay. So the answer is A. Uniform acceleration and uniform deceleration. Okay. And 10. Okay. What is the displacement? Okay. So 1 km, 6 km and 12 km, right? From P to S. Okay. Do you know how to count? That means this one is 11 km. 这里是 11 km. 可以吗？因为这个 1 km，这个 11 km. So 11 square plus 6 square root 多少？ A car travel along a straight road takes 5 seconds to increase its velocity from 10 to 50. What is acceleration? So you take 50 minus 10 over 5 seconds. So 40 over 5 seconds is 8 meter per second per second. Do you understand? This is acceleration. Acceleration is the change in speed over from 10 to 50. Okay, did you get this right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to the part which has gravity also. Yay. Okay. This chapter a lot of graphs, really a lot of graphs. Okay, let's look at this. Look at this chapter. This solving numerical problems involving linear motion graphs. Okay? What is the displacement of an object after the first 6 seconds? Okay, the displacement of the object after the first 6 seconds. And what is the velocity for Wx? So, first 6 seconds is a Alright. So, it travels 4 and then it went back 1. Okay. It traveled 4 and then went back 1. So, 3 only lah. Displacement is how far is it from its original. Okay. And then what is the velocity? The velocity is Wx 它从这里到这里只是 1 meter 罢了，它用2个 second 时间，看到吗？ So 1 meter over 2 seconds. Okay, so it's 0.5. But because it's going down, it's negative 0.5. Can you understand? Okay. Okay, the motion of a motorcycle on a straight track. What is the displacement of the motorcycle after the first 8 seconds? Okay, same concept lah. First 8 seconds. So, it's still 4 meter lah. Not 4 meter, sorry, 20 meter. Okay, it's still 20 meter. And then velocity between 0 and 4 seconds. 0 to 4 seconds is 4 seconds. 20 divided by 4 lah. So it's 5 meter per second. Okay? Okay, different. This one is different. This one is not displacement. This one is velocity over time. Okay? What is the displacement of the toy car? Displacement of the toy car at the first 6 seconds. Displacement for this 就是它这里下面的那个 area. Remember we did this just now? Velocity equals to distance over time. So now they're asking you what's the distance. So you just take velocity multiply time. So it's 1 over 2 multiply this triangle. Okay, so it's 1 over 2, 6 multiply 3. Okay, so 9. Okay, 1 over 2, 6 multiply 3, so 9. Can you understand? Okay. B. Determine the acceleration of the toy car from t equals to t from here to here. Okay, so it travels from 3 to 1, so decrease by 2 over 2 seconds. So it's negative 1. Okay, negative 1 meter per second per second. Got it? 你明白吗？ Can I understand? Okay. Alright. Okay. Last part. Gravitational acceleration. 如果你站在那个 weighing scale，OK， 你站在那个 weighing scale let's say 那个 weighing scale 写50公斤，50 kg，其实你的 mass 是50 kg，but your weight is not 50 kg，weight 是50 kg multiply Earth's gravity. Earth the gravity is 10, it's always 10. So if you are 50 kg, you are actually 500 Newton. Okay, now anybody on Earth is all having the same gravitational acceleration, which is 10 meter per second per second. Okay, but if you are on the moon, is your gravitational pull more or less? Less. So then your weight will be different, but your mass will be the same. Okay, can I understand? Okay, so if I drop anything from the top and I drop it down, 它会越来越快。Why? Why will the speed be faster and faster? Because the acceleration is always 10 meter per second per second. The gravitational force pulling them down is always this. Okay, can? So anything that's going downwards, the free fall going downwards, 它的 velocity, 它的 acceleration is always the same. 它会越来越快。好像人家从飞机跳下来，是越来越快还是越来越慢？越来越快了。Yeah, it's the same reason. Can you answer? Okay. Okay, so this is what we're learning just now lah. In air or in vacuum, okay, the speed is different. The time is different. But the gravitational pull is the same. 为什么 in vacuum 会比较快呢？为什么 vacuum 会比较快？vacuum 是没有 air particle, right? So when the paper is falling, the air particle will push it back up. 里面有 air particle 嘛 air particle will push the shreds of paper back up. But this one, if it's a vacuum, vacuum means no particles. Okay, so there's nothing to push it back up. Alright? A. Ziyang, when did you come for class? I didn't even realize. I share the notes to you. Okay? Hold on. Hi. How was your meeting? Wait, let me share this. Okay. Okay. Free falling objects reach the ground faster than non-free falling objects. This because non-free falling objects need to overcome air resistance. Okay? Objects in a free fall are not all affected by air resistance. Objects in free fall are affected by gravitational force because vacuum space does not have air. Okay. What is mass? Okay, before we do this, wait mass and inertia is another problem. Okay, you know 你做那个 swing, okay, if you're sitting on a swing, okay, swing people push you on the swing, go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, 你刚刚要开始的时候很重是吗 people have to push you first, right? Okay, once somebody actually pushes you, then you swing up and down, up and down, up and down. Is it very easy now? Yes. Then 人家要停的时候，是不是很难？ Yes. Okay, so this is the concept of inertia. 如果那个东西没有动，你要它动，你需要很多力。可是那个东西已经在动了，你要它停很难停。Okay, that is the concept of inertia, right? So basically, if a if a body is in rest, they want to be in rest，不要你吵它。如果 a body is in motion, is already moving，它不要你吵它，它就是要 move 的。Okay, so when you want to make it move or you want to make it stop, if you require, you have to overcome this thing called inertia. Okay? 假期的时候容易读书还是很难读书？很难读书，因为你已经 body at rest already，很难读书。OK，你在考试的时候，读书，要停难吗？很难，你习惯了。Okay, so a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest will stay at rest. Okay? Okay, mass is the quantity of matter in an object. Inertia, okay, this is Newton's theory lah, Newton's law. Okay? Inertia is a natural tendency of an object to resist any change, whether it's at rest or in motion. So if it's in motion, it wants to stay in motion. If it's at rest, it's at rest. So this is Isaac Newton's first law of motion. An object will remain its original state, either at rest or in motion or constant velocity, if no external forces act on the object. Okay? If an object is at rest, it will remain at rest. 就是这样，我这个东西我放在这里，我放在这里，我没有去动它，自己会动吗？不会。A body at rest will stay at rest. OK，如果这个是没有friction 的，没有 friction 很滑的。Okay, and it goes on forever. I push a ball, it will just continue to roll and roll and roll. It won't stop because it's in motion. Okay, it will stop in real life, it will stop because of friction lah. Okay, if it's an object that is moving, it keeps on moving at a uniform velocity in a straight line. Because outside, it will stop it. Okay, so for example, the books are at rest. They don't want to move. You pull it, you will force it to move. Okay? Okay. Can its inertia resist the change, so its state of rest. So when the book is pulled out quickly, the books above do not move along with it. Okay? When a bottle of chili sauce is jerked towards the food, the chili sauce moves together with the bottle. When the bottle stops suddenly, the chili sauce outside will be forced out. So, got any danger of pouring out too little chili or is always too much chili? Too much, right? Because you force it to be in motion already, everything will just come out. Okay? An object of a large mass will need a greater force to move or stop it. You just imagine, 如果你在 you are still on earth, 你爸爸大只还是小只？ Your father, big or small? 啊，很大只。So 你跟你爸爸两个人 sitting on the swing，哪一个人比较容易 start？当然是你啦。可是你们两个都 start 了，谁比较难 stop？你爸爸咯。Okay? Because a large mass will need a greater force to stop or move it. Get it? Okay? So a larger mass possess greater inertia. 越大越难动，越大也越难停。Okay? So an object with a large inertia tend to strongly resist change in its original. So it's easier to push the empty can, harder to push the can filled with sand. But when the can filled with sand is already moving, it is harder to stop. Get it? Okay. Okay. So example of inertia. When you have seatbelt, 你 suddenly 停那车，你驾着车的时候，你是不是在动？你也是在动啊。When there's a sudden stop for the car, 你还在动。That's why you move forward, and that's why there's a bang. That's why you move forward and bang into your face. Do you understand? Okay, so that's why the seatbelt is there to stop you from banging in front. An umbrella is spun and stopped suddenly. The water droplets 转那个 umbrella，你没有转，那个水全部飞掉了 correct 吗？ Because the water droplets is still in movement. Okay? So a steel structure is fitted in the space between a driver and a lorry, so it prevents the log from moving forward and knocking against the driver if the lorry suddenly stops. If something suddenly stops, the thing here is still moving and it will either move forward or fall down behind it. Okay? Yeah? Alright. Can you try and do this question here? Section 1, question 1. Ziyang also, can you try and do question 1? This one, just this one, question 1 only. Section A, question 1. Okay? Okay, are you done? Okay. So what is meant by acceleration? The rate of change of huh? Oh, velocity. Okay. Based on figure 1.2, determine the value of G, the gravitational acceleration. Okay, so you have to count. You cannot just say 10 teacher because the answer is 10. No, you have to count. Okay, so each ticker is, each tick is 0.02, right? Okay, so here got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5. Okay? So initial, you start, you start. So, okay. B, question B, you have to start with, okay, the velocity at the start. Okay, so it's distance 4.5. then 它多少个洞？1 2 3 4 5。每一个 tick how many? 0.02 second，记得吗？Okay, so this gives you 45 centimeter per second. Okay, that's velocity at start. And then cut to velocity at end. Now the distance is 22.5. Okay, 它的时间还一样吗？ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 一样吗？一样。5 times 0.05. So 它的 velocity at the end 是 225. Okay? Alright, acceleration 讲算，你的 final velocity minus initial velocity over 它的时间是 5 times 0.02 seconds. So it's 900 centimeter per second per second. 900 centimeter 多少 meter? 除多少 centimeter 去 meter？一个 meter 几个 centimeter？100咯，除100咯。So 9 meter per second per second. Okay, you slowly see. You understand or not? Do you get it now? Do you understand? Okay. Give two reasons why the value G is smaller than the actual yield. Actual yield 是多少？10嘛？为什么没有算到刚刚好？ Why? Because there is 我们算的东西不可能准的。为什么？ When we are doing it, there is air resistance and friction. between the ticker tape and ticker timer. It's not free fall, ma. Free fall, you will get 10. This one is not free fall. Okay? Can you understand? Okay. Okay, look back at this question here. Look at question 2 here. Sorry, not question 4. This one has what I taught you about inertia just now. So what's the answer? Inertia lah. Correct. You pull the tablecloth，你知道的 magician 啊，拉出来可是它都是有动的啊。Okay, if you pull the tablecloth, the book is still there because the book is very heavy. There's an inertia. Okay. Okay, look at question 5. Okay, what's your answer for 5? No, D. This one is uniform. Uniform acceleration is this one. Okay, this one is 越来越快,越来越快,越来越快. If it's uniform acceleration 是一个直线来的，这个是越来越快. Okay? Alright, can you please do question 6? And only left 6, just question 6. Only left 6 only. Okay, what's your answer? Why do they fall off the edge of the table? Because of gravitational fall lah. Gravitational force. Okay, can? Alright. Okay. Can you go back and do this? 2 and 3. This one I will explain. Just do 2 and 3. Okay? You can do now.